Today, we are in Southside Village, which is west of the trail in Sarasota, one of my favorite neighborhoods, and I'm excited to show it to you. We're looking at several properties today, ranging in price from $1.2 million to $18 million. All of them are within 1 mile of this incredible village, which consists of locally owned boutiques and restaurants, some of which are my favorite in Sarasota. So my name is Margot, and if it's the first time to my channel, why don't you go ahead and subscribe? And if you see that bell below, press on that and you'll be one of the first people to find out about all things real estate related in Sarasota. If you're thinking about buying a home here, or maybe it's a second home, you've come to the right place. My contact information is below. People like you all the time call me, text, email, whatever your preferred method is. And I'd love to set up a video chat with you. We can talk about what you are looking for, and I will help you make a smooth move to Sarasota. So here we are west of the trail. We are only 4 blocks from Southside Village. Be sure to stick around because I'm going to be showing you some of that later. This property is listed for $2,699,000. It was listed 8 months ago for $3,199,000. It's quite a substantial price reduction. It is a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, and it was built in 2016. It is 3,444 square feet. It has a small backyard, but a very nice pool. I want to show you the reason why I think it most likely hasn't sold yet. We are about 1.5 blocks from Miami, which is the major thoroughfare, but you can't really hear the traffic very much, and I'm sure you can't hear it from inside the interior walls, and so that's not the issue. The issue is that we are literally next door to commercial property. This is a medical center behind me, and so while you're not going to be hearing sirens, you are going to have a lot of traffic and noise until 5 o'clock, Monday through Friday. We are also about 1/3 of a mile from the hospital, and so there is a chance too that the home hears quite a bit of sirens. Now we're going to talk about west of the trail versus east of the trail in Sarasota. Bottom line is you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck, so to speak, east of the trail. The home behind me is listed for $1,395,000. It is just under 2,300 square feet, and it's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath. We're still less than a mile from Southside Village. We're still in a phenomenal school district. Really, what's happening here is homes are being torn down and developers are coming in. You can see the 3 homes behind me. This has happened. Up here a little further, it's the same thing. In between, you might have some properties that are a little bit more worn down, but even 4 years ago, it was much less expensive to live over east of the trail, and things keep coming up. So while I said it is more bang for your buck, because of the phenomenal location, being only a couple of miles to downtown, 15 to 20 minutes to the airport, and walking distance to that Southside Village with all of those restaurants and boutiques, this is highly desirable too. So coming up behind me is another one of these little infill projects. This is a series of 4 new homes, and this is just a really, really good, safe area. You get all of the benefits with not quite the price tag for literally just being east of Tamiami or the 41 as opposed to west. We are west of the trail in Sarasota. And what that means is that we are west of Highway 41, otherwise known as the Tamiami Trail. It's the longest street in this part of Florida. And it's highly desirable to be west of the trail because it's the water side. The property behind me is listed for $1.2 million. It is in a great location because we are just on the other side of the North Bridge of Siesta Key. So we're maybe half a mile from Siesta Key, but the owners or renters of this property won't have to deal with the traffic going across the bridge, both to and from Siesta Key. So that's the thing here, is that this particular neighborhood allows for weekly rentals. And that's by far the case in many of the neighborhoods in Sarasota. So weekly rentals are allowed 52 times a year. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, and it's listed at $1.2 million. This is probably the best deal west of the trail right now in Sarasota. The home is 2156 square feet, 2,156 square feet, and was built in 1954. The neighborhood's beautiful. We are far enough away from the trail that we don't hear traffic noise, but it really is a pretty street. I love the canopy trees. Let's go see the next property. Here we are in a west of the trail neighborhood in Sarasota. This is considered one of the best neighborhoods in all of Sarasota for multiple reasons. The home I'm ready to show you is listed for $18 million. Now you may be asking, what warrants $18 million? Well, it's not the facts of the home itself, which are 3 bedrooms, 5 baths, nearly 6,000 square feet, a 4-car attached garage and a 6-car separate garage. All of those things are pretty impressive, but the reason why this price tag is $18 million is because the property is located on the bay, and not only that, on almost 2 acres. That's a prime real estate as it gets, and this is an estate property. Now, we've talked about Sarasota neighborhoods before. This is a great example. So on the bay side here, $18 million. Across the street, cute bungalow, if it was for sale, which it currently is not, would be listed for probably about $2.5 million. And so there's a wide range. But the thing is, besides being on the bay, this is a spectacular location. We're only half a mile from Sarasota Memorial, 1.5 miles from downtown Sarasota, and walking distance to Southside Elementary, which many consider one of the best public elementary schools in all of Florida. I'm going to show you around Southside Village. It's one of my favorite spots in Sarasota because it is chock full of locally owned boutiques and restaurants. Veronica's is a restaurant that's been around for a long time, and they do have very good food, but I have to tell you, my husband and I especially like coming here after eating elsewhere for an after dinner drink. We sit at the bar. Every time we've done this, we meet local characters, let me tell you. So if you're looking for a light snack and a good drink, I recommend the fish dip. It's outstanding. And the Sexton, if you're a bourbon drinker. Trust me, you'll be stoked. So over here, we have Perk Coffee. Locally owned again. Very, very good coffee. Also some different breakfast items. And as we continue this way, Southside Deli. It's a landmark, if you will. Further down the street behind me is a restaurant called Meliora, and it's actually being rebranded and it's going to be opening in a few days as Adeling's. The owner chef worked at many restaurants in Washington, D.C., and even at Michelin star. So it has some of our best food, or at least in my opinion, from a foodie's perspective, if you will. I'm going to take you up here to the best grocery store in Sarasota. Don't get me wrong, Publix is good. Whole Foods is always a winner. There's lots of options. But being a gal from California, when we moved here, I was wondering where the gourmet stores were. And when I found this, I felt a tear because I was like, it's my people. It has almost a Dean and DeLuca type vibe to it. They have so many pre-made salads and also food you can just heat up, different gourmet chickens, meats. They have pizza. They sell beautiful flowers. They have a bakery. They will customize a cake if you want something really special. And I'll tell you, one of the things that my family and I really do, taking advantage of how amazing Morton's is have them make our holiday meals. I know that that may be something you don't want to hear or you don't agree with, but sometimes the girl just doesn't feel like cooking. So we've had them make our Thanksgiving meals before. It's prepackaged. You just let them know how many you're going to be feeding. Everything's good, and you have a lot more time to spend with your guests. And over here we have clothing stores, shops with trinkets, and then right over to South Poinsettia Park, which is the neighborhood right in the Southside Village. There's others. There's Cherokee Park, and lots of choices. So if you want to check out Sarasota, thinking about moving here or buying a second home, my contact information is below. Go ahead, reach out. Look forward to helping you.
Hi friends, I wanted to go ahead and give you a map tour of Southside Village and the 4 properties that I showed you today. I know it can be a little bit confusing when you're not in the car with me, so you can see the distance from one property to the other, how close they are to Southside, where that is compared to downtown Sarasota, and that sort of thing. So I'm going to pull up Google's map, and I'm going to share my screen and point out those things to you. This right here is Southside Village. You can see that it's outlined in red. I'll go ahead and do the same, but in yellow. There we go. We talked about how it's very close to the hospital. You can see the hospital's just literally catty corner to the village. And the property that I showed you, that was $2.699 million. It is located here. So from the perspective of walkability to Southside, it's spectacular. It really doesn't get much better than that. The issue, in my mind at least, that we talked about is that you are so close to Tamiami Trail right here, and then it was across the street from Medical Plaza. Now the property that I showed you that was just over the bridge from Siesta Key, this here is the North Bridge of Siesta Key. The property that was $1.2 million and would, in my mind, make a great rental was right here. And so, again, really nice that you don't have to deal with the traffic going across the bridge and then back onto the mainland of Sarasota, but you can get to Siesta Beach fairly quickly if you'd like to. And it is not as close, obviously, to the Southside Village, but it's doable. It's probably about a mile there. Now, the property that was $18 million was just across the street. So across Siesta, and it was located right here. And we looked at one more, didn't we? East of the trail. And it is very close. It's in Arlington Park right here. So you can see much closer actually than these properties down here, but you get more home for the money if you are east of the Tam-Miami Trail here. So as far as neighborhoods are concerned, this property is actually called Southside Village. Over here, Arlington Park. Down here, Granada. And this property is South Poinsettia. And there's a ton of other beautiful little neighborhoods and all of this west of the trail, east of the trail, all near this Southside Village, because it's only about a mile to downtown here that you can see that. And then the airport further north, really 15 or 20 minutes depending upon traffic. So very centrally located and quite a bit to do right there. I didn't even tell you some of the fun things that happen in the village during the year. At Christmas time, there's man-made snow for the kiddos and they can all run around and play in it. And it's just very festive. Of course, it's gorgeous. It's lit up at night. And when I was there today Sunday, I was there in the afternoon. And so most of the stores were closed and the restaurants weren't open. So that's why it seems so quiet. But on a normal night, especially Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it's going to be pretty packed with people walking around, having a really good time. And if it's season, so basically like October through March, especially January through March, you're not going to be able to get a reservation unless you make one way in advance, and because it is a popular area.